And we're back with the vacuous perspective. So back it up, park it, because we're going to be chilling out for the next hour and a half or so. I'm Val. Nate.
Hey.
How are you, pal?
Yeah, not bad. Got myself an ice cold Coca-Cola.
Yep, excellent.
The new sponsor.
Still off the waters. Yep, still off the waters.
Yeah,
until the test results come in.
Until the test results come back in.
Yeah, man, we're off the waters.
We'll be avoiding that. However, another ice block has snuck its way in, as it does.
They do, man. They love to. And I thought it'd be a good time to acknowledge the public holiday that we're celebrating. You know, the man who gave up his long weekend for not only our sins but for this weekend as well. So big ups to the G man, the big G,
Big J. Or the G-Man. And
I call him the G-Man because he's the same bloke.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, no, so just
God's not only the man in heaven, the man on earth on the cross, but he's also the linguist who knows all the languages of the whole planet, which he would need to do to propagate the word of God.
Oh, we just do that in English though, right? We
do now. But back then, to spread the word, you had to know all the languages.
Well, it's kind of funny because originally only those who were highly educated and had been taught Latin could read the Bible.
Yeah, separation of knowledge. It's always good.
So the priests would know Latin and they would be telling the followers what the word of God is.
Yeah.
Very convenient.
Not only do you control the words, but you control the words being said.
The way you say what you focus on, what you say from the Bible.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, the printing press was essentially developed to spread. Was it? I mean, that just really propagated the Bible.
I think its first use was for the Bible. Yeah.
And really, if a Muslim country invented the printing press first, would it have a competitive advantage in spreading its word of God?
Yeah.
Over
at the time, absolutely. Yep.
And now we've just got AI that could make up a new Bible. I mean, that would be a nice thing to ask it to invent a religion.
Oh, yes. We need tenets or words to live by or guides to life. We need fables to enforce those values. We need a message of goodwill and positivity for the future.
I reckon AI would make up a great set of rules to live by.
Oh, it probably would, but they'd probably feel as harsh as the 10 Commandments would, you know, in terms of directives, do's and don'ts. It would be very efficient about what it says.
Sure thing. So what have you been doing today? Well, I've got half an idea of what you've been doing today.
Yeah, I think you know half of it. We were building the studio today. Just getting bits together, and it was a bit of fun. And
it's looking good.
Else.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not running out of there yet or for some time.
It'll be just nice. It'll be super nice to have for our big events, for our live stuff. For I think we're doing. Are we still doing the coronation of the big KC?
Yeah. No, KC. Hold on, Luffingham's just.
Is he poking up? Is he a royalist or is he a bit of a separationist in that sense?
No, he's definitely a royalist. Actually, he is very regal himself.
Yes. So he needs to keep those values alive and well.
He doesn't want to be beheaded by the masses.
That's also something to strive for, usually.
Hey, Luff, come over here. Come on. Yeah. No. So he's very, very regal, and in fact, pugs were they're Chinese emperors' things. That I believe that they are dogs bred by Chinese emperors past.
Oh, okay. So they are royal.
And they're a bit of a fan favourite, yeah. Way back. Before being royal was cool.
Yeah, well, there's hieroglyphs of greyhounds. I'm a big greyhound fan myself. There's hieroglyphs of those. I'm a bit of an Egypt guy. I like a bit of Egypt.
So that style of dog, did that originate around Egypt or?
Yeah, it would have been around there.
Why did they need fast dogs? Or did they just like the look of them because they look like their god?
Yeah, like Anubis. They're a bit Anubis-y. But Anubis was a jackal, I believe.
Is a jackal a type of? That's a wild dog, isn't it? A jackal?
Yeah, I think it is, more or less. There you go. Maybe they are just G-hounds living out in the desert. There's all sorts
very
of
pointy.
Yeah, pointy ears. I think you're going to love what the AI came up with for the new religion of the future, because it's something I think we can all get behind. There was a long time ago, I used to think that there was a lot of sun worshippers back in the day, people who would worship the sun.
Yeah, I'm a sun worshipper now, but
it gives life. It makes the trees and the plants grow, which we need to survive, and all that sort of stuff. So sun worship is a pretty good one for me, I reckon. That's why a lot of ancient civs had sun gods and gods for everything, essentially, back then. But this one is not that. It's a similar sort of concept, though. It does preface it by saying, as an AI language model, I am not designed to promote or advocate for any particular religion. However, I can provide a hypothetical example of a new religion for the purpose of this prompt. So it sort of said, look, I hate you. But
don't worship me.
Here's the answer.
Do not worship false idols. But
the religion of Gaia's guardians is based on the belief that the Earth, or Gaia, is a living organism with a consciousness that connects all living beings. The religion is founded on the principles of sustainability, environmentalism, and the interconnectedness of all life on Earth. Thoughts?
I don't mind that. I don't mind that collective consciousness thing. But sorry, did this say it made it up, or is it selecting a thing that already exists? I've heard of Gaia before, haven't I?
Well, yeah, that's just another word for Earth.
Is it? How do you spell that?
It's Gaia. Followers of Gaia's guardians practice rituals and ceremonies to honor the natural world and to strive to live in harmony with nature. So this is all pretty much being environmentally friendly. They believe in the importance of preserving the Earth for future generations and actively work to reduce their carbon footprint and protect the environment. There you go.
I think that's quite an elitist thing to do.
Really? How's that?
I think one of the best ways to combat global warming or environmental issues generally, I'm just going to lump global warming in there as another potential negative effect we're having on the Earth.
Yes.
If you spread the wealth around, so the standard of living in some of these third world countries was a bit higher, they would have the time to take out of their day, like perhaps we would, to select more sustainable options for them and have a bit more care and regard for the environment. But because they're scrapping around for their next meal, they're not going to give a fuck about the environment. They can't.
Sure, they can't.
It's not in their. They don't care what the world looks like in. You're not
they
saying
care what the world looks like right now.
And they're trying to survive. Yeah, it's right now.
I understand what you. I understand.
But because we're wealthy enough, like I can make slightly.
You could ride your bike to work.
Yeah,
like you could do all these sorts. You could catch the train. That sort of thing to
it's not
reduce
fair to,
your carbon footprint.
I just feel like it's a very Western.
You could say that the carbon footprint of somebody who is struggling to get by is pretty low. Like they're not burning the air cons. They're not
No, they're polluting.
Smashing the 3 fridges, the bar fridge and the other one. You know what I mean?
But they're polluting.
Yeah, but we're polluting.
Yeah, but with disregard, blatant disregard.
Oh, blatant disregard. See, I've got sort of plausible, deniable regard. I've got like, oh yeah, no, I know where the rubbish bins go. Yeah. Oh yeah, I know where it goes.
We put rubbish in the bin for fun.
Like the sausage roll.
Yeah, you didn't even pick it up. That's how much you care about your sausage roll.
You said it was in the bin. You said that they would have binned it.
But
anyway, to summarize, it says the religion also places a strong emphasis on community and the collective well-being of all living beings. Followers are encouraged to work together to create a world that is sustainable and equitable for all. So it's a pretty it sounds nice though. It does sound nice though. It sounds like it's just all about being nice to each other and the environment, the world that provides. And look, sure.
The sentiment is great in that, but actually putting it into practice is a completely different thing. The sentiment's great.
Yeah. Be nice in all things. That's pretty standard.
But going back to sun worshipping, very quickly.
Yeah.
I mean, the ultimate provider. Everything on Earth powered by it. I mean, we got to get behind that, don't we? We have to support the sun. I'm not a sun denier.
Support it.
It's hard to deny the sun actually when it's shining down on you. Like no one doesn't think this. Does anyone think the sun doesn't exist?
Of course, flat earthers don't think the sun exists.
But wait, flat earthers don't. So what do they think is the sun? Sorry, what is?
Probably just a big lamp.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's not that far away. Just beyond the dome.
So do flat earthers believe that the dome itself is a projection? Is that the idea?
No, I think the dome is solid in a lot of the cases.
But it's a LED type screen, do you think?
Something like that, yeah. Yeah, big LED. Fuck, man, what a nightmare that would be to work on. Yeah, we got a problem in sector 7000G. Okay, great.
And the fact that all matter in the universe has been, well, maybe not all matter, all heavier elements above lithium have been created inside a working star or an exploding star makes me want to worship the sun even more.
Right. So what does that mean?
I'm a huge fan. Well, it provides all the energy for us right now. And previous generations of our star have provided all the matter that we're composed of.
Is part of it, though, that we can't say thank you to the sun and it can't say thanks back or whatever?
We can't really do much for the sun at all, can we? We can't really impact it. We can't feed it.
Well, we can try and harness its energy, which we do. We're harnessing God power at that point. We try and put it in our calculators and stuff, right?
Yeah, such a small amount. Such a small amount. That little.
And keep in mind, though, right, that a God, a sun or otherwise, doesn't care if it can create the metals that you need to have a car. It doesn't care about that. You know what I'm saying?
It just does it.
Yeah, no, but
on a whim.
Yeah,
does it without even trying. Like, what a beast. What a boss. What a boss the sun is. It's just farting and shitting and exploding, all the good stuff.
All the good stuff?
Yeah. Including bad stuff, gamma rays. All that stuff.
I've talked about this before, but I need to go back. I need to figure this out. I need to figure this out. I think I got it wrong the first time I went through this. How does the technology in heaven work?
Firstly, it's pronounced technology. And I think you have taught me that before. Yeah. Technology in heaven.
Okay, so I brought up the fact that there were gates in heaven. Gates. So presumably they were there since the start. Otherwise, they would have had to have waited until humans invented gates and then went, we should pop them in heaven. Or were gates already a thing and then humans developed gates independently of that after?
Well, what I think happened is it's pretty clear to me that heaven had no gates at one point in time.
Right. That's what you think, right? Yeah,
that's what I think. And then a human on Earth came up with the concept of a gate.
Yep.
They start propagating here on Earth, and then one of those humans dies and he goes to heaven and he looks around seeing holes in the fence and stuff like that.
Right.
And just people walking in. And he thinks, hey, I saw this thing. I know of a thing we've come up with back on Earth.
Right.
That I'm going to bring this idea into heaven.
Right, because I've got the know-how. Right.
I've got the knowledge. Couple of hinges.
Yep.
Bang on a gate.
Swing it.
Put a lock on that, and now all the riffraff's out.
Yep.
They're on the outer.
Pop St. Peter at the door.
Yeah, it was probably St. Peter, really.
He's your heart weigher guy.
Well, he's the gatekeeper.
Yeah, but he's, in ancient Egypt, they weigh your heart against a feather. This guy just has a chat to you, I think. He has a chat.
He can weigh your heart just by looking at you.
Yep, he knows.
And asks you a couple of difficult questions.
Does that mean that they're going to get the iPhone in heaven now that Steve Jobs has passed away?
I would say so. But only up to iPhone 13, 12? When did he pass? What were they up to?
I don't know. So 8-9 years ago. I'm not sure. But would they be sort of, say he'd get up there and go, you know what, I've been making these things because I don't know, the guy who invented the Nokia 3310, he's probably up there already. They're probably doing that. Probably got those ringtones, they've probably got that going. And he's going to come in.
Snake too.
Yep. They'll probably skip polyphonic ringtones altogether. Probably just go straight to the, I'm going to say boring modern day. version of ringtones. Everyone's got the same ringtone now, especially if you have an iPhone. There's about 5 ringtones. I don't know.
Zzz,
Yeah, that's the other one.
zzz.
Yep,
Yeah,
one.
I got that one.
Yeah, I remember back in the day, your phone would ring, and it's like Christmas. When you first had a mobile phone, you had a 3310 or you had a 3315. The phone rings, or you get a message, or you get a phone call. It's like stop everything. All right, hang on a minute, everybody. I got a phone call over here, a personal phone call. I know it's for me because they rang my
big
direct line. Okay, so I'm going to take this call, right? It was a big deal. Now it's like when the phone rings, you go, oh, fuck, oh, no. You know what I mean?
Yeah, now the scammers and the fraudsters.
Exactly. Half the time you pick it up and it's like, it's just someone's, it's clearly a recorded message.
In Chinese.
And the funniest thing is sometimes that's a relief. You go, oh, thank God. I can just hang up on that.
Oh, I was getting so much anxiety from having to talk to someone, and it's just a machine. Thank
God. Get rid of them. So I think it's funny how that switched around. We had, back in the day, you would go on a website, it would say, so you want the Power Rangers ringtone. Well, you got to go into this and then press 5675 hash 56 hash 77. And you did that in the right order, and it would be the ringtone. It was in a music maker, like a little music maker. But no one knew how to actually make music, but people knew how to press buttons in a sequence. So that's how we used to do it. It's crazy.
You had the Power Rangers ringtone?
Oh, yeah. So when I got a message, like a text message back in the day, an SMS, I had 2 major ringtones back in the day. There was that one, which was it's the same sound that it makes when Zordon gives him a buzz, which is doot, 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 doot. So that would go off when I got a text. And
That's
I
a great
was probably
one.
The coolest kid going, right?
Yeah.
Must be the coolest guy around. And the other one, when it became the point where you could upload an MP3 to be your ringtone, there's a scene in Monty Python, The Holy Grail, where one of the knight's squires is shot by an arrow in his leg, but it has a note on it. So someone was trying to send a message on a bow and arrow, and he's just shot a guy. Didn't realize, right? And it thumps into him, so it goes thum, and he goes, "Oh, message for you, sir," and hits the deck. So that was the other one. Had 2.
Oh, so that was your message tone.
Yeah. So when I got a message, it would go thum, message for you, sir. It was almost like the arrow.
It's very clever.
The old with the new.
Well done.
Love a bit of Monty Python, man.
I just take whatever ringtone they give me now.
Yeah, we're so boring now. The phones are so exciting.
I just don't give a fuck.
So exciting.
Yeah,
but we just don't care anymore. Yeah.
Yeah, just fucking ring. Tell me when you're ringing.
Yep. And just other than that,
just make noise. Just let me know.
Yeah.
I honestly can't remember the last time I changed my ringtone. I think the last 2 phones I've had, I just have whatever that's just the generic is.
Yeah.
I'm a bit embarrassed about that.
A friend of ours growing up, I remember we would have a lot of nights where the night would end of just someone, you just passed out in someone's room on the floor, usually.
Mm-hmm.
And one day, by the way, his ringtone was the entire Foo Fighters song, The Best of You.
Who was this?
I'm not going to say their name.
Oh, this is the person you're talking about, though.
Yeah, a friend of mine.
Friend of yours. Yeah. You
Just
passed out on their floor.
It's around just after high school. You're probably in your early 20s, and just smashed after a big night. But it's the morning now, and you're starting to sort of starting to grapple with, oh my God,
life.
I'm gonna have to deal with this now.
Yeah,
I have to deal with what I did now. You're starting to grapple with that. And his ringtone for calling, for someone to call, was the entire song of the Foo Fighters' Best of You. Is someone getting the best, the best, the best, the best of you? That one.
Yeah.
The whole song. So he gets a phone call, 7 o'clock in the morning. Absolutely fucked. And it just starts, man. I got another confession with you. The whole thing, man. And I was
didn't you just pick it up? Isn't that the easiest way to solve?
he was gone.
Oh.
He wasn't waking up.
Yeah, and how long? Oh, I mean, so they can't call you for the whole song, though. I guess that's...
No, they could. They could.
Oh.
It depends on if you've got a thing that says, hey, if it rings after 3 rings, it goes to a message bank or something.
Yeah, so it's the
If you don't have
3.5
that
minute
set,
ring.
no,
Yeah.
it just goes.
Yeah.
And I said to him when we went later in that day, once we were, everyone was awake, I was like, bro, you can't have that as your ringtone, man. Like, that's fucked up, man. Just get a bring. Just get a bring.
Just get a zzz like everyone else.
The problem with the zzz is that if you lose your phone, one of the strats back in the day was you go, oh yeah, call my phone. And
I've got a workaround. I've got a workaround for that.
Please.
Yeah, my Garmin smartwatch has a Find My Phone feature.
Yeah,
and it makes it light up and go crazy, make lots of noise, even when it's on silent. So
Fantastic.
I never know where my phone is.
It's
always on silent, somewhere in the house. Whenever I need it, though, I find my phone probably like once every second day. I'm like, where the fuck's my phone at?
Right, but now you've got this watch, so if you lose the watch, you're fucked.
Oh, I'm gone. Yeah. Can't lose the watch, but it's strapped to me.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of the watch. You don't even have to think about it.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm trying to think of a circumstance where I'd take it off, I swim with it, I bathe with it.
Yep, you charge it though.
Oh, I do charge it. And sometimes I have left for work and I've left it charging and it feels weird. I've got this big white, wristband.
Yeah.
Well, it looks like a wristband.
Part of you that's no longer there.
Yeah, it's the mark of the beast, the mark of the Garmin.
It's a mark, isn't it? It has to be on everyone to be the mark.
It's a beastly mark. Yeah, true.
I don't have a Garmin watch yet.
Yeah, it's a smartwatch mark.
Yeah, I don't have a smartwatch. But we're relying on the watch and the home doorbell, and it's all linked to your phone and all that sort of jam, right?
Mm.
So one of those systems fails, like the core system, we're in trouble, right? So sooner or later, it's all going to be one device, right? Sooner or later.
Mm. Oh, well, okay. Yeah, mate. Yeah, probably. What, one device split between like a watch component and a phone component?
Nah,
just one device?
Just straight in the head.
Oh, straight in the head. Oh, I was thinking maybe the next stage could be the phone on the arm, like the whole phone, like a computer
on your wrist.
Yeah, put your phone horizontal, stick that on your wrist, and it's kind of like a big watch, but it can you can type away on it with your right hand or something. That's kind of a bit
maybe
weird.
Even just pops up a blue hologram. You know those cool blue hologram computers
that
from the
cool.
movies. So you've got a wristwatch, but it's essentially a desktop computer in your hand.
Yeah, and the other thing, you could just get your phone, strap it to your face like a bloody VR unit.
Yep.
Just look at that all day.
People do that.
Yeah. And then the last stage of becoming a phone is just replacing your head with an iPhone.
Yes.
Your whole face. Just you have a neck and it just goes straight into iPhone.
Yep. So you wouldn't need like makeup or like anything. You'd have the face on the screen. Your face is a screen. You just project whatever you want.
You just pick your face for the day.
Pick the face.
Pop that on.
Pop it on.
You accessorize. Put some cool sunnies on. Maybe if you want some realism, give yourself a zit.
A zip. Some imperfections.
Yeah. A blemish or two. Maybe a little nick with the razor where your shaving went wrong.
Yeah, chuck it on.
Those little human touches.
Very, very nice. People will appreciate it. People at the office are going to love that.
Yeah. So this week, I'm just trying to think, where are we at? So Easter. Talk to me about Easter briefly. I was trying to give the wife a rundown on what I know about Easter.
Right.
So
which bits?
The main
there's
bits.
There's 2 bits, right?
Well, there's two bits.
Things.
There's 2 bits. Now I'm wondering
there's 2
what
very
the fuck.
Clear things going on here.
There's 2 clear things, but what is Easter
there's
Sunday?
Actually 3.
What is the significance of Easter Sunday?
No, this is the day that our Lord rose from the dead.
I thought that was Easter Monday.
No, we just get the Monday off because it was on Sunday.
It was such a big deal that you need the public holiday Monday
for
everyone to talk. Everyone was talking about it.
No, you can't miss out on it.
Well, I thought so.
Don't
so
touch
dies,
my public holiday, mate.
But if he passes away on Friday,
yes,
and then he 3 days later
roll the stone over, pop him in the tomb,
pop him in there. That's on Friday. That all happened Friday, did it not?
Friday afternoon, 3 p.m.
Okay.
That's what
so
they say.
So he gets popped in there. Oh, really? Then one day goes past. We're on Saturday. Everyone just still thinks he's dead, right?
Yep. Probably just
Sunday,
very upset. Yep.
2 days. Now he's starting things. He's probably starting to twitch a little bit now. He's starting to think.
He's probably gone already.
Think he's already gone?
Rolled the stone away,
But wasn't it the third day that he rose from the dead? So isn't that take us to Easter Monday?
Well, if you go Friday, Saturday, Sunday, that's 3.
But you're counting Friday as a day.
I'm counting Friday.
0. I count Friday as 0. Day 0. Okay. Day dot.
Look, if you want to justify having the Monday off work by saying that Jesus actually may have got up at midnight on Sunday or 12:01, I'm happy with that.
Jesus made God up.
Jesus is God.
Yeah, but he was already made up. Was he not? Wasn't God? God was always around. He was always around.
Yep.
Having Jesus make God is putting the cart before the horse.
It is.
Putting the cart on the horse. The cart is the horse.
It's such a weird story. But so then he got to hang out for, I think it was a few weeks or something. He sort of cruised around and gave various missions to people. Said, you got to go do this. You got to go do this. Hey, mum. All that jam.
So he had no hard feelings. He came back. He said g'day to all his old mates, everyone. Were they not a little bit confused at the time? Were the authorities not after him? They could have crucified him again.
Yeah, Judas could have picked up some more silvery dollars. But no, I'm not sure.
Was there a bounty associated with Jesus?
Yeah, but bounties usually cease after the person's been executed by the state.
Would have had to have doubled his bounty.
Yeah, they'd already paid for that one. And then he got ascended. He got the ascension. He got the ascension treatment, just like his old ma.
Oh, so he was the only other one that got ascended.
Well, it's kind of a bit like,
That's how the story goes. That's the story.
Right?
Yeah.
Here's the story. God, impregnates himself, being Jesus, into Mary, who then they live, and then it gives the assumption treatment to his lady, Mary, right? His main lady, who's also his mum, who's also the father of himself. Gives her the ascension, gives himself the ascension, because that's another weird thing, because he is God, he gives himself the ascension treatment. I mean, it doesn't seem very willy-nilly. It seems like it's strictly the family who get the ascension treatment. I don't know.
Seems that way.
Immediate family only.
Okay, I'm just having a quick look here to see what the official story is for Easter.
Oh, good.
I just want a little bit more information just to make sure that we've got this right. Okay, this is the Scottish Sun. I didn't know that the Sun had a Scottish version. This is apparently the true story of Easter.
Oh, is it Ustro?
Ustro?
Let's go.
What's this?
Oh, that's what my dad calls Easter. All right, let's go.
Okay, so let's just check. Let's just make sure. Christian tradition that celebrates the resurrection of Jesus marks the end of Lent. What was Lent?
It's when you give something up for a long time. Usually people would give up something like chocolate or lying.
It's like you can't. So you're lying. You have to.
No, I made that one up.
Yeah, okay. I was like, it seems a bit.
So, yeah, when you're a kid, they'd go, all right, so now you have to write down something that you can't do for 40 days. Well, I guess I won't eat broccoli. No. It has to be something that you like doing. What? Why? Why do I have to give up something that I like doing? Oh, it's to show that you've got sort of like, true grit. Can you do it? 40 days without chocolate, knowing that at the end you get Easter eggs. Lots of chocolate. Anyway.
I can do it. Those who follow the Bible believe that Christ was crucified at Calvary on Good Friday. That seems to check out.
Yep.
Accounts of the Gospels state that the Son of God was betrayed by Judas before he was sentenced to death.
Put an asterisk on that.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Christians believe Jesus sacrificed himself to save mankind from sin.
Put an asterisk on that one as well.
After the crucifixion, the scriptures say that Jesus' body was taken from the cross and placed in a tomb guarded by Roman soldiers.
Oh, so it's gone guard. He's got guards.
Well, they must have been
sleeping
on the job. But what are they
napping.
doing? Guarding a dead guy?
A rock, yeah.
Okay, Easter Sunday, 3 days after Christ was nailed to the cross. Oh, so I think he was nailed because didn't he take a couple of days to die on the cross?
No, it wouldn't take a couple of days to die, but if they're saying he died on Friday at 3 p.m., he must have gone up pretty early. It would have been a long day for him.
3 days after Christ was nailed to the cross, Mary Magdalene, followed by some of Jesus' disciples, discovered that Christ's body had disappeared from the tomb. It's strange to even check on his body at that point.
Yeah. Should we just go down and see if he's still there? Well, he's dead, so he's definitely still there. Yeah, we'll go check anyway. Mary, let's go. They all go down there. What, stone's gone?
The Bible's and the soldiers presumably gone, or did he just do some kind of Steven Seagal shit and just start knifing them?
yeah, or Jedi mind trick. I'm not sure. Yeah, no, good point.
3 days after Christ was nailed to the cross. Okay, yeah. The Bible says that the stone covering the entrance to the tomb was moved. Yep. Then Jesus' corpse was nowhere to be found, and onlookers discovered he had risen.
What?
Only then did they onlookers.
No, that's because there was an angel, right? Didn't an angel go, you were looking for Christ, but he's not here. He's gone. He's back. He's back, baby.
Which angel was that, do you think?
Probably Gabe again. Gabe's come back.
Yeah.
And
he did a lot of heavy lifting. Gabe was the real MVP.
Yeah.
Christians believe the Son of God was resurrected on this day, which has become known as Easter Sunday. Easter falls on different dates annually. Yeah, who cares about that? Okay. What happened on Easter Monday? This is what I'm looking for. Easter Monday comes after the weekend of Christian celebrations, remembering the death of Jesus on the cross on Good Friday and his return to life on Easter Sunday. After his resurrection, it's believed that Jesus remained on earth for 40 days.
40 days. That's the Lent thing, I reckon.
Yeah, okay. Appearing to several people, encouraging them to spread the gospel to the rest of the world.
Yep. His dying wish. His second dying wish. And now, forgive me, but if you died, and then resurrected, I understand there was a portion there where you were could have been declared medically dead, but death is so final for me. If I was to die tomorrow but live the next day, did I really die? Is my question.
No. Did you know?
Well, because death is the end, right? No, but apparently not. There's chances for resurrection. And I guess they have sort of done that in the Bible before with Lazarus, because Jesus, one of his miracles was he resurrected a dude. A dude was dead, and he went, nah, mate, you're all G. So...
And that guy just continued on living a human existence? Did he do anything fancy after that, or...?
Probably had a few good years.
No superpowers, nothing.
I don't think so. No.
Okay.
No, unless you consider
didn't get the ascension.
Dead. Didn't get ascended. No, never. The story of Easter is also associated with many other symbols and traditions, such as the Easter Bunny and Easter eggs. The Easter Bunny is said to bring eggs and other treats to children on Easter mornings, while Easter eggs are a symbol of new life in the resurrection. So...
Is that a Christian thing again, the Easter Bunny, or is that just something?
No, it's a mixture of an old pagan sort of religion, right? What they would do, man, is they're like, look, these happen. Look, you celebrate this around this time, and we celebrate this around this time, and it just so happens that's when the seasons change. So why don't we just make this new thing? We'll call it Easter. You do your Jesus stuff on the Friday and the Sunday, and do your Easter eggs on the Sunday and whatever. And you know what? Take the Monday off work as well, because I reckon you'll be absolutely fucked by the end of that weekend. So have another day.
There are many traditions. I've just got a page here that's talking about the pagan tradition.
So
many traditions that surround the entire Lent season.
Well, it's because it's a seasonal change, right? Because it's an actual sort of like marker in where the year's going. So your Punxsutawney Phils, your
in Norse mythology or language, there's words like Eostur, so like Easter, and Eastur, which is very close to Easter as we know it, and Astara, and they mean the season of the growing sun or the season of new birth.
There you go. And you've got the resurrection. You've got Jesus as like the savior guy, the return.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it's nice, isn't it?
This isn't right. In Australia, bunnies are considered pests, correct?
That's true.
that ruin crops and land.
All
Aussies celebrate with their native marsupial, the bilby, which has large ears and a more pointy nose. I've never celebrated the Easter bilby.
But you would have eaten a chocolate bilby before, right?
Don't think so.
They're just like what we would have marketed as Easter eggs. It might be an East Coast thing. If you're an East Coast fan of the show, let us know. Send us an email. Flick a comment down the bottom. Is that a thing? Are we eating bilbies over in the East Coast? Because I don't think we're doing it over here in the West. Are we doing it over here in the West? I don't think we are.
I don't think so. I know the Yowie. Do you remember Yowies?
Well, they're just they're an all year round chocolate. They're not.
Is that a bilby?
Easter.
Is that a bilby? What is that? What is a Yowie? Some kind of little monster.
No, Yowie's our Bigfoot.
Oh, is it?
Yowie's the Australian Bigfoot.
Proven.
Yeah, they're there. So Daryl Lee do a chocolate bilby. There's a few chocolate bilbies. This is a problem because I reckon you definitely would have had a chocolate bilby in your life, but I don't think it's as widespread as the Wikipedia page is going about it, isn't it? The Easter bilby is an Australian alternative to the Easter bunny and chocolate bunnies. Bilbies are native Australian marsupials that are endangered. To raise money and increase awareness of conservation efforts. Yeah, this all makes sense. This all makes sense.
But is that real? In that I've never heard of it, or is that just something that it's not? Is that mainstream? Do you think?
Here it is. Here's something. Daryl Lee began selling chocolate bilbies in 1999. As of 2009, their sales were about the same as the sale of bunnies in Australia. All right. Now, in 2022, so there's a break here because Daryl Lee started making chocolate bilbies again after an 8-year hiatus, which means that from 2014 to now, they had not been making chocolate bilbies.
Oh. Okay.
There you go.
This makes so much sense now.
What does?
This is the origins of history in the Easter Bunny in this article. It seems like no one really knows where the rabbit how the rabbit exactly came about. So there's only theories and lots of different theories. But it says here that there are several reasons for the rabbit or hare to be associated with Easter.
I definitely know one of them.
Yeah, what's that?
Yeah, well, they're very fertile little things, and they're associated with propagating and becoming quite abundant and
yes,
yeah.
The fertility, fucking like rabbits, right? Mm-hmm. It's the reason why that's a saying.
Yep.
So Easter comes during spring in the Northern Hemisphere and celebrates new life. Christian meaning of new life through Christ and a general emphasis on new life are different, but the two gradually merged. That makes so much sense. And also, I hear a lot of people think that the Christian religion is some kind of fertility cult. Have you heard that one before?
How so?
Well, I've just heard it. I've heard it before. I don't really know much. I don't know anything about it. But the idea, I mean, this makes sense. The Easter tradition, if you're celebrating fertility and the start of new seasons and things like that, that kind of lends itself to that theory. But that's right. The book, The Sacred Mushroom and the Cross. Have you heard of that one?
Of course.
That is about the origins of Christianity within fertility cults. Fascinating. I haven't read it, but I've heard about it. That's on my homework. That's on my things to do, definitely.
Chuck it on.
Yeah, so the book relates the development of language to the development of myths, religions, and cultic practices in world cultures. Allegro argues, being the author, through what's etymology? How do I...
Etymology?
Etymology? What does that mean?
History? Context?
The study of the origin of words and the way in which their meanings have changed throughout history. The origin of a word and the historical development of its meaning. So he argues that through etymology, the roots of Christianity and many other religions lay in fertility cults and that cult practices such as ingesting visionary plants to perceive the mind of God persisted into the early Christian era and to some unspecified extent into the 13th century. Blah, blah.
Pretty bold statement. Statement.
So bold, very bold.
That these can make you see through the eyes of God or equivalent of. That's pretty wild. Probably given a bit more power than it may actually have.
Oh, it does say here that his unconventional claims have been subject to ridicule and scorn.
See, I don't mind being subject to ridicule. It's the scorn that gets you eventually. Like ridiculing, that's part of the game. People are going to ridicule you. But the scorn, not the scorn. We're still scorning. It's 2023.
I don't really like scorning, I don't think. Let's see, scorn.
Mm.
I don't know exactly what we're talking about here.
Yeah,
a feeling and expression of contempt or disdain for someone or something.
See?
Yeah, contempt, disdain, strong words.
Yeah.
Have you seen those images of halos around heads of Christians like Jesus, depictions of Jesus that look like the underside of a mushroom because of all their lines radiating out? It sort of lends itself to the idea of the mushrooms being used.
Oh, yeah, I can see that. But I also see a similarity, especially between some of the depictions of the saints and Jesus and other sort of important figures with the sun disk. It's almost like an Egyptian sun disk. If you look at their sort of gods and stuff, they have not halos, but sun disks.
Yeah, are they behind their head or above their head? They're above their head, aren't they?
It's like above and behind. It's sort of a full thing. Egyptian sun disk head. Because the sun disk is obviously pretty important because that's one of their father gods or whatever you want to call it. Ra is one of the main ones.
Yeah, there's a lot of images of Ra with a sun disk sitting on his head.
Oh yeah,
it's pretty awesome with a cobra coming out of it. Oh boy.
And if you look at some of the saint ones, you'll see that they also have golden discs in lieu of halos sometimes. Straight up just golden discs on their heads.
Yeah, it's pretty similar, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And of course there's influence, right?
But sun worshipping obviously goes back all the way. Egyptian culture, I'm sure cultures before that. But even in the US, those obelisks, so the George Washington Monument, that thing is absolutely massive. That was the tallest structure in the world for some time, and it was just a huge obelisk that you can go inside. There's a room at the top and things.
Yep. Seen
at the bottom of that,
movies.
Yeah. I've checked it out before when I was there. At the bottom on the way in, they've got the big Egyptian wings.
Where?
The big bird wings on the way up, like the bottom of the obelisk.
Right. In DC?
In DC. They have the big Egyptian wings. Let me just check. I need to see this too.
Can I give you some homework?
Yeah. Clear
your desk.
Done.
And if you want to do it as well, listeners at home, do it as well. It's my ultimate bullshit test. Okay? I used to be real deep into the conspiracy stuff. Used to love it. I used to get real deep into it. And it didn't do me a hell of a lot of good mentally, but it was fun. Okay? Now, there's a video on the internet, and I don't know if I'll link it or not, but it's the YouTube. It's called it's called Secrets in Plain Sight, and it's a guy who does a lot of work around architecture and city layouts and measurements and stuff. And it's a good bullshit test because I think if you find it interesting, you'll watch the whole thing. But if you don't, you might turn it off after a minute. You might turn it off after a minute. I don't really mind what people do when they watch this one. I don't mind if they watch it for 10 minutes or 20 or the whole thing. But I'd be fascinated to see how far you got through it if I gave it to you as homework.
I'll check it out.
You can stop at any time. So I'm gonna give you that. It's called I can't find it. It's called Secrets in Plain Sight, Volume 1 Complete. 3 years ago, it was uploaded, 221,000 views. And I'll put a link somewhere and I'll give you the link after this, Nate.
Yeah.
And I would say that the first 30 minutes are the most fun. So I would say that you don't even need to watch all of it.
Yeah, okay. I'll definitely give it a look. But what's fascinating about the Washington Monument, though, just to finish off on that, is not only is it an Egyptian concept, of course, an obelisk.
Yes.
It has the reason why the obelisk is a Egyptian symbol of worship is because at the top of an obelisk, it's the first point to see the sun as the sun rises. The higher you are, the earlier you see the sun. And so that they put a little pyramid at the top of the obelisk.
Yep,
and that point, that very point, the very top of the pyramid is the first thing to see the sun in the morning because it's the highest. And that lends itself to the sun worshipping culture that they were. That's why the obelisk is something that is revered and worshipped, in that you build this high thing and it's the first thing to see the sun. And they all just get around it.
Is that how it worked in Egypt as well, though? Were they always taller than everything else, the obelisks? Not necessarily?
Not necessarily, but I think that's the sort of the underlying...
the Washington Monument is different, right? Because it's not one piece.
It's not one piece, no. But it was the tallest structure in the world for 5 years, between 1884 and 1889. I
see these wings you're talking about now. What do we think about those? What's going on there? He's got like a Vesica Pisces overlapping there. Two circles that overlap each other to create that in the center. You get that nice eye/fish eye thing going in the middle. You see that one?
No, I haven't seen it. I think I took photos of it myself. I couldn't find photos.
Oh, this is from the air, so I don't. Maybe that makes a bit of sense, but let me just see if I can drag it into pictures. Because it looks kind of interesting. There's some pathways. There's some pathways there that make a nice little thing.
It is interesting that they went with building a massive Egyptian style obelisk in the US.
Don't you find it fascinating that the Vatican, like the seat of Christian power in the world, has an Egyptian obelisk as well? Don't you find that kind of strange?
I didn't even know that. Sorry, where's this?
St. Peter's Square.
Yeah, I didn't even know there was an obelisk there. Is it from Egypt
though?
Yeah,
it's from Luxor.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so they took it, popped it up in St. Peter's Square, the holiest of places in the Vatican. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's going on? What's going on there? So it doesn't really surprise me that Washington decided to chuck, Washington DC decided to chuck one up. But if you've got that picture there in Discord, there's a pictures thing. You can see what I'm talking about.
Okay, that's pretty cool. I didn't
two
actually
overlapping
realize
circles. In the middle, you get that Vesica Pisces. Well, the whole thing is Vesica Pisces, which is a geometric thing, and Washington's full of them, and that's why I find that Secrets in Plain Sight video so fascinating. You've also got a nice infinity pool that the Washington Monument sits in front of. Do you see that? It's got the, that big long pool.
Oh, yes. Not in the picture you sent me, but I know what you're talking about, yeah.
Yeah. So you've got that sort of nice mirroring effect there. Beautiful. All right, there you go. Big dick in the sky, big dick going into the ground.
It is a bit dicky, isn't it?
It's 100% dicky. All of the stuff, the SpaceX stuff, it's all massive cocks, right? And I would say that the Washington Monument, not the Washington Monument, but obelisks as a whole are meant to be sort of phallic in nature. I would say that's part of it.
Speaking of SpaceX, I hear that Virgin Orbit, which is a subsidiary of Virgin Galactic, has filed for bankruptcy.
What, so Virgin Galactic's still getting up, but Orbit's not?
Seems like it. I don't really know.
How does that work?
Because Virgin were doing the ones that the spaceship is attached to a really big airliner of some kind, and the airliner drops the I think it's called a Launcher 1 rocket or something, and from so it drops off and then activates its rockets and goes up into a suborbital flight. But yeah, they're
I'd say
selling
that's
that
for
off.
comfort, right? That's for comfort, right? Because, you're not an astronaut. You don't want to take that launch, the whoosh, the proper launch, the big boy launch.
Yeah,
You'd
straight
rather,
from
take us up off a runway, get us up to like 60 thou, and then shoot us off. Must be a bit
Pretty
nicer.
much. Virgin have had lots of problems with their things. I remember they had their first prototype crash, and I think it killed one of the pilots a few years ago. If
Did
that's
it
right.
really? What, Virgin Galactic? Are we sure?
Yeah. It put really slowed him down.
Yeah, right.
Just check me on that.
On 31st of October,
Spaceship 2.
the fourth rocket-powered test flight ended in disaster as it broke apart midair with the debris falling into the Mojave Desert in California shortly after being released from the mothership. Oh boy! The flight was the first test flight of Spaceship 2 with new plastic-based fuel replacing the original, a rubber solid-based fuel that had not met expectations. 39-year-old co-pilot was killed, and 43-year-old pilot Peter Seabold was seriously injured. Okay.
And so now they've got this other offshoot, Virgin Orbit. And that's filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Richard Branson's not bailing it out. And it had a mission called Start Me Up in January of this year and suffered a rocket launch failure due to a technical error, resulting in the loss of 9 customer satellites. They laid off 90% of its workforce, and it couldn't secure a deal to get more financing. So I think they just had they had a couple of duds. They just couldn't prove that their technology would work because their technology is quite different to the SpaceX stuff, the way it works.
Well,
because they have an air launch system where a carrier plane hauls a rocket into the air and then drops it at altitude.
Yeah, which sounds a lot nicer. Yeah. Probably take a bit longer.
Yeah, it sort of narrows the field a little bit, doesn't it? Oh, and speaking of SpaceX, I need to check this because they were going to launch Starship 1 as early as today, it was rumoured.
No way.
The 10th. Yeah, they're looking at bringing it forward. It was supposed to be the 20th of this month.
Bringing it forward. Starship 2 is ready. NASA reveals new Mars helicopters. Okay.
So I'm not actually sure. We would have heard about it, I think, if something had happened.
I'm excited.
Recently, yeah. But next week, there might be some news on that. Yeah, so it's supposed to be as early as today because Starship's the one that's going to carry people and cargo to the moon, Mars and beyond.
Oh, no. Come on, guys. What's going on? Like, I want to get up into space. I want to go to Mars and stuff, but I want to be able to get there in a reasonable amount of time. I want to be able to get up there in a couple of days. Sublight engines. You know what that means? Sublight engines?
No.
Let's go sublight speed. We're going to go 7/10 the speed of light just to make it a bit more easier. Actually, I don't like that. We need stargates like we were talking about earlier today. We need stargates so that we can establish places that we'd like to go to, like Mars and the moon and stuff, and have instant transportation there because there's nothing worse than going on a holiday to Mars, traveling at light speed for not that long, but long enough, and you come back and all your family is dead.
Yeah, that's not ideal, is it?
Nah.
Unless you don't like them.
In which case, nailed it. But Stargate back and forth, hey, how's it going? You get back in time to feed the fish.
And they don't seem to suffer any jet lag.
In the Stargate?
No.
Well, they do make a big deal out of it. In the movie and in the first few episodes, like people go through and they like vomit and stuff, that classic trope where it's like, oh my God, you just traveled to a different part of the galaxy instantaneously. And then they just don't do it anymore. You know what I mean? Everyone just goes through happily and everyone else, whoever goes through it for their first time is like kind of cool. Because they just went, oh, dude, it's going to be a really bad show if every time they go through one of these things, someone's yakking.
It gets a bit old.
The yak budget. They need the yak budget to go way up for them to do that.
It makes it seem more believable early on because
they're
like, what are the after? What are the effects of someone going through this radical teleportation procedure? They got to be at least sick, right?
Yeah. Plus, you've got your hard nuts there, your colonels and stuff who are going through no problem. They're not yakking, but you need the weak guy on the crew to yak it up after his first crack in it.
What do they call those things in Stargate? Are they jumps?
Gates.
So when you go through a gate, they just call it, there's no special word for it.
They are Stargates, right?
Yeah. Okay. So when you go through the Stargate, did they ever have anything strange happen? Like two people went through together and their heads got like, they body swap like a Freaky Friday type episode.
Sure, I'm sure they would have done that in an episode or two. There would have also been times where you'd shut the gate when someone's halfway through so that it like chops them in half. Like if they're a baddie, you'd go shut the gate and half of their heads in one part of the world and half their heads in the other side of the galaxy. And then it just goes bleh, like gone.
An interdimensional guillotine.
Yeah, that's right. But the Stargate SG-1 crew, they invented this thing, like the engineers called the Iris. So what they would do is they would have an off-world activation. Someone's dialed home. Someone dialed the number for Earth from another DHD, which was a dial home device, I think they called it. Right, which is the little tablet thing that you go to and you press all the symbols in order and then you press dial and then the Stargate activates, right? This is how you do it.
Just a telephone. To
get home, you got to call mum.
Yeah.
So you got to know mum's phone number, which is Earth's phone number. You call Earth's phone number and they pick you up. It works exactly the same as getting a lift from mum back in the high school days. But when they would dial home, say they're on mission somewhere, they'd dial Earth and then SG-1 goes, shit, we're getting someone coming in, so their Stargate activates. But they're like, no, close the Iris, right, which is a big metal titanium
shield
vault
door,
lock.
Shield door
big
type
vault
thing.
Lock.
Yeah.
And it automatically sort of like forms around the gate so that if you go through it, well, you're just going to get shot into this titanium wall and die, presumably.
And that thing's indestructible?
I guess so. Well, it's meant to be pretty good. I'm sure there would have been times in the series where someone breaks it and someone like an Apophis comes in and fucks it up. But the crew, the SG crews, would have a little device on their wrist or something, like pop it on your wrist device, that would send a signal through the Stargate because radio signals can pass through Stargates and therefore cross galaxy, to say, nah, it's me, it's Jack O'Neill, and open the fucking door because I'm coming in hot. You know what I'm saying? None of the other cultures did that.
That they didn't radio in?
No, they didn't raise walls. They didn't build the wall.
Oh, you didn't build a wall?
They didn't build the wall, man.
You got to build a wall. How do you keep out unwanted... how do you keep out the Mexicans?
Right, the Goulds.
What's a Gould?
Well, they're the guys they're the Stargate people who invented the gates or started using them. I don't think they invented the gates. I think the ancients invented the gates, but they started using them to get around the galaxy. That's sort of a bit of a revelation because in the beginning you think, oh, they built them. But later on they go, no, these little fucking aliens did it. And the Goa'uld, Egyptian-style god dudes were just using it because it was a good way to get around. You know, someone's already built the subway, it's still working, let's use it.
Yeah, of course. So Trump, talk to me. He's tried to get the wall built. He's partially built the wall. Now he's under fire. He's in the trenches at the moment.
Yeah. Well, he was at the UFC on the weekend.
Did he enjoy himself? Did he wave at the camera? Did they cut to him like a celeb?
I think it's his job whenever he's in public to just look normal or in control. So he was just sitting there. Every time that there was like him in the background, like the fights are happening, but I'm just looking because Trump's sitting in the front row and he's got that face on where he just looks super angry or tired. I don't know what it is. He's either angry or tired or something.
He's got a lot on his mind.
Serious. He looks very serious.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe he had a clap. I don't know. I would have to watch all of the highlights from the UFC event to see if he got excited at the appropriate moments or whether or not he remains stern in those moments. But yeah, a lot on his plate at the moment, a lot on his mind, I'm sure.
What does Trump do to unwind, do you think? What do you reckon his hobbies are? Because he does look a bit stressed out, doesn't he?
I'd say he likes to play a round of golf or two. I'd say he's that kind of guy. I don't think a guy buys golf courses for fun. I think they kind of are into it. You got to have a sort of passing interest in golf, don't you? And I think he played a lot of golf in his presidency. Is that true, or is that just?
I keep hearing as much.
Yeah. So played a lot of golf. Loves golf.
A lot of business gets done on the golf course, I'm told.
Oh, so you think? Okay. So you think it's more businessy than the pleasure of actually playing the game of golf? You think he's a bit of a fraud in that respect?
Yeah, I think so. I think he's probably working. He's working.
Business deals.
Yeah, getting the deals done. He probably grabs a bit of pussy on the weekend, sounds like.
Yeah, maybe. And I've heard that he doesn't drink. Or has never drank alcohol.
That doesn't surprise me, actually. I could see him sipping on, expensive red,
Apparently
expensive
not.
Shiraz, or...
Apparently not.
What about cigars? Do you reckon he likes a cigar?
I've never seen him smoke, hey?
Yeah, he's got it together.
I would have thought there'd be at least one photo of Donald Trump like burning $100 bill to light a cigar, Surely there'd be one photo like that out there. I could make one in the AI, but it's not really what I'm going for here.
Okay, Britannica, Donald Trump.
Britannica?
Yeah, I don't know why this come up because I thought they had some hobbies on there, but I don't think they have any hobbies. I want to know what he does in his spare time. Okay, here we go. Google. What are the hobbies? Oh, for president. What? Trump.
I don't know. I don't know if he has.
I think his hobbies are just concluding deals.
Yeah.
Going bankrupt.
Yep. And then recovering from that. But is that a hobby? That's just kind of what you do. That's kind of just your job.
Sort of his job. Okay.
Come on, he's got to have hobbies.
This guy on Quora fucks porn stars, cheat at golf,
right?
FIB. What's FIB stand for? Fib.
Is that lie?
Yeah.
All right, here, this guy. Here's my top 5 in no particular order. Chess. Wait, this guy's just talking about hobbies that make you smarter. This has nothing to do with chess. Sorry, with Donald Trump. What are hobbies that make you smarter? Chess, reading, writing, exercising, playing a musical instrument, bonus for meditation. So how many of those have you got there?
Don't play musical instrument anymore. I don't really play chess. No, I know how to play, but I haven't played in forever. So no chess.
So that's no chess. Reading, you like to read.
Yep.
Mo for 2 for the start. Writing, blogging, answering Quora questions. Jesus Christ, this guy's up himself. No. Exercising. Nope. You got that one?
Yeah.
Yep. So you got 2 so far. Playing a musical instrument?
No.
I'm not really actively playing a musical instrument at the moment.
No, actively.
Damn it. Bonus, meditation.
Got the bonus one, so I'm 2.5 out of 6.
Yeah, but the bonus one seems like, why isn't it just number 6?
Yeah, just make it number 6.
Why is it a bonus?
He obviously doesn't take meditation very seriously. This is actually a common thing. People don't really give meditation the kudos it deserves. Right. Yeah, because it seems, and I've never really thought about it from this perspective before, but it seems like if you were to strive to be good at meditation, it's almost to strive to do nothing. You know what I mean? The goal is to do nothing, to think nothing, to be just, I don't know, present, I guess. I don't know. What you tell me. Sorry, what am I telling you?
Well, meditation, right?
Yeah.
You got to work really hard to achieve this nothing state, which apparently is very awesome, right?
No.
But if you have to work hard for nothing, and nothing's the goal, but you got to work hard for it, you know what I'm saying? It's very difficult.
I don't think you have to work hard for it.
You don't think you have to work hard for it?
I don't think you have to work hard for it. You're not working hard.
How quickly can you get into a meditative state?
It depends. Pretty quickly.
Within a couple of minutes, a few minutes?
Yeah. Depend. Yeah, sometimes I got more on my mind than other times. Sometimes I slip in really easy. Other times it's more of a challenge.
And
sometimes
you
I don't even get it.
recognise
Even
it-
sometimes in 20 minutes I don't get in it. A lot of the times I don't get in.
Right, you don't get in. Sometimes you don't get in. See, that's rough.
But you seem to get better at it, and you get more conscious. It's almost controlling your awareness.
Right.
Your mind's always racing. You can't control that. Your mind's always going to be doing stuff.
Yeah, foraging.
That's just what it does. It's looking for the next thing.
Yep.
It's trying to tell you what to do.
Yes.
But you can focus your awareness wherever you want.
Yes.
Your mind will constantly be thinking positive and negative things. It'll be thinking all bits and pieces. I don't know how many thoughts a minute you have, but yeah, I'd say it's probably like about 3 a second. And they're all going on, but you can focus your awareness on a positive experience and you'll get the feeling of positivity, or you can focus your awareness on negative things and you'll get negativity.
Brain tricks.
Yeah, I think your awareness, and you become more consciously aware of what you're focusing on.
No, I'll definitely have to give it a go. I didn't do my homework.
I was going to ask you about that.
Oh, shit.
Because at some level, you start thinking, you start realizing that there's all these thoughts going on. But what you don't is you just don't have any attachment. You learn to not have any attachment to the thoughts. You just let them happen. And you start sitting back, and it's almost like you're a third person.
Right.
And you see all the thoughts. You feel them all coming and going. You just let it happen, but they don't affect you emotionally. You're just consciously aware that you're having thoughts. And you try to not let you try to just let them. You just let your mind do whatever.
Yeah, it's thinking though.
It's a way of thinking. Yeah. The idea
but you
is
recognize it as a different state almost, don't you?
yes. And
you think it's convincing enough as another state that you can say, no, this is not regular. What I'm doing right now doesn't feel normal.
It is completely. I'd say it's highly irregular.
This is what I mean. It sounds like something I'd be right over. It sounds like something I should be all over. Sounds great. It sounds great.
Well, no one's ever cultivated this in me before.
Right. Even though you think it's helpful.
I think it's extremely helpful.
Yeah.
And then what happens is in terms of getting into a meditative state, it's easier for me to direct my awareness and where my consciousness lays. It just becomes a little bit easier. So I find it easier to focus on my breath now and let thoughts come and go without reacting
that's just
to
training?
them.
You think that's just like over time you're just getting better at it?
Yeah, I think
Refining?
so. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so now sometimes even just a couple of minutes of deep breathing and sort of focusing more on that, because the breathing is more of a regular rhythmic thing that you do that doesn't actually take a lot of thought. So you don't actually actively have to think about it. But if you just focus on something like that, that's almost a little bit boring, your mind has a chance just to relax and let the other things go.
Interesting.
And you can get into a meditative state. Whereas I think normally the way we've been brought up is you have a thought and then you act on it, and you have a thought that sort of emotionally affects you, and you start to feel like you are your thoughts, but really the thoughts are completely independent of us.
Interesting. I want to do the one that Paul McCartney and David Lynch do. I want that one.
Oh, the transcendental meditation.
Yeah, that one. I want that one.
Yeah, that's just a fancy word for the same thing.
Is it?
Yeah.
Rock on then. Sign me up.
Seinfeld,
yeah.
Jerry Seinfeld is a huge advocate for transcendental meditation.
Yeah, but he's a weirdo. Great guy. Great comic. Greatest show ever written. Couldn't say nice enough things about him.
Here we go. Donald Trump's hobbies and interests. The only ones that are showing up now that he's president would be, I don't know why it's showing up. Why is this president? Obviously, apparently, golf and possibly porn. And I'm not making this up.
Bloody hell.
He's supposed to be practically addicted to porn and he's said to have complained about the fact that he could not get it on his White House TV.
Are you? I mean, is this a big deal? Like, do you watch pornography? Like, I don't watch a lot of pornography, but I watch pornography. It's not a big deal. You're allowed to. It's not illegal to watch pornography. It's okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the White House TV.
I'd be more weirded out if they said, he never masturbates.
That would freak me out, yeah.
Then I'd be like, oh, okay, so he's just completely like, no, I can't vote for this man. That would be more shocking than he's. But it's not a hobby, is it? It's not a hobby. If you said name 3 hobbies that you have and you were running short, maybe you'd put wanking as the third hobby. Maybe. I wouldn't. I'd find another hobby. Because it's not a hobby. It's not a hobby. It's like saying eating is a hobby or sleeping is a hobby.
Maybe you'd be a connoisseur masturbator.
Fine.
Because you could be some kind of,
you think there's hobbyist wankers out there who, their number one hobby is masturbation.
I think that's happening. I think there's a wanking club out there.
I don't think I could call like a basic human function a hobby.
Here we go. Perth Wank Mates.
Oh no.
I don't know what Buddy Bait is. It's a website. We estimate more than 77,000 other 18 plus men are seeking wank mates in Perth for friendly masturbation experiences. Check out some personal posts. I can't click this.
No, you can't.
It's just come up my Google search.
No, but like, what is wank club? Is that getting together and having a wank, or is that like, here's my wank video? You want, where's yours?
I shouldn't have searched.
What is this?
Yeah,
what have you done?
Yeah,
what have you done?
It's all.
Your
porn
algorithm's
sites.
completely fucked now. It thinks you want to hang out with local men.
Yeah. Oh
and
no.
Want to, get that.
The
going.
Wanking Club on Apple Podcasts.
Oh, well, see, like, if you have a podcast about it, I think once it's got a podcast made about it, it could potentially become a hobby at that point if you've got a podcast dedicated to it. But it could just be called the Wanking Podcast. I mean, look, like I said before, I'd be more weirded out if he said, I don't do that at all. I'd be like, okay, well, then that's weird, bro. Saying it's like the only thing you do outside of golf and work, that would weird me out too. Like it's your main thing, like you're really all about it. That's weird too.
Yeah, I wonder what kind of porn Bernie Sanders liked.
Exactly. I want to get his list up. Let's have a look.
Quite conservative. No, he would have some really. He would have some very unusual tastes.
What you think Bernie does?
Yeah. Al Gore. Maybe he can. Maybe this should be a part of the election policy materials they present.
Well, they disclose their tax records. You think they should disclose their porn search results?
Yeah, their
search
fetishes.
history.
Yes.
Yeah. We think it's important for us to know this.
So we touched on this I think the wife's home. Hey, the Artemis 2 astronauts got announced. We can run through them real quick. Have you seen that?
I saw that. I did see that.
Have you seen how much diversity there is?
Is there 4 blokes and a lady, or is it a couple of ladies?
There's one lady.
One lady, yep.
2 blokes, 2 white dudes.
Yep.
One of which is a Canadian. And a darker gentleman.
Yep.
So we got, but you know what's funny? The white American, Commander.
So he's the commander.
He is the commander. The pilot, Victor, is the darker gentleman. And then you have a couple of mission specialists, Christina Koch and Jeremy Hansen. He's the Canadian.
They've got to be the most decorated astronauts in America right now. They've got to be like the best of the best of the best if they're doing this mission. This is a big mission. This is a huge mission. This is like...
It's the big boy. It's the big boy.
We're doing it again. We're going again. This is the people who are going again.
And just to recap, this Artemis 2 is just a 10-day flyby. They're not going to orbit around the moon. They're just going around it once.
But Artemis 3 is landing on the moon.
Yes.
Right. Is it the same crew? Different crew?
Different crew.
So they won't work on the moon. We're not looking at future moonwalkers right here. We're looking at future moon flybyers like Tom Hanks in the movie Apollo 13.
Exactly.
They get to do the look out the window. Jesus Christ. We could have walked on that fucking thing. You can't walk on it because it's made of cheese. So
In a lot of ways, they're space guinea pigs, though, because they're just testing out that the life systems will actually support them in their mission.
Yep.
And they've already done tests on this.
They'd be going through that belt as well. They did that. They sent up the people. Didn't they do that already?
Well, they sent up mannequins wearing.
Yeah, they did that.
But they don't really know the effects. So they're measuring radiation levels, but they're like, how is it going to affect the actual humans?
Yeah, pop a dog up there. That's what they did. That's what they used to do.
Obviously, it's going to be. Obviously, they've checked it out enough that they think they're going to be fine.
Mm.
And we've been there a bunch of times before.
Mm-hmm.
So it's launching in late 2024.
That's Artemis 3.
Artemis 2. They've announced the astronauts, but I don't think, because at the moment, this is why Spaceship hasn't even, the spaceship that is going to be launching.
Starship,
sorry, that is going to be carrying their whole capsule and launch system hasn't even done a test flight yet.
Mm.
So that test flight is happening in the next week or so. They reckon that's got a 50% chance of reaching orbit. That's Elon's estimate.
Fucking hell, that's not good, is it?
So we've got the crew. We just don't have the vehicle.
Hang on a sec. He says there's a 50% chance of going up into orbit or coming back down to Earth. A bit of a splashy, I assume.
I think so, yeah.
So that's what he's prepared Artemis 2 crew for.
Yeah, this is a 50-50.
Yeah, when you go up, fucking flip a coin. I don't like that.
No, well, he reckons they'll have a successful orbit. He thinks this year there's an 80% chance that they'll get Starship into orbit.
80%.
80%.
Because what we're doing a couple of launches.
They're doing a couple
50-50s.
Yeah. He thinks that they'll get better each time. So this one's a 50-50. Whatever the error is this time, or errors, that they think they'll be able to figure them out at some point, to the point that they'll get a successful launch. And so, the first woman, a very diverse crowd going up.
Yeah. But Artemis 3, the landing on the moon one, that should be pretty good too, right? They should have some. Are we going to have a lady walking on the moon then? Come on, what's happening there?
Apparently they're also going to send a darker gentleman and a lady gentleman.
A lady gentleman?
Lady gentleman. Well, who knows what they are by that stage. I don't know what we're going to be calling them.
Sure.
Hansen, the Canadian dude, has only been an aquanaut aboard the Aquarius Underwater Lab. What's that? The Aquarius Underwater Lab. Sounds pretty cool.
It's all the same shit, though. Pull the lever, grab the thing. It's all, more or less going to happen automatically. What are they doing?
What are they doing, hey?
What are they doing? What are they doing, man?
Oh, he's also been a cave naut. Oh, it's just astronaut training in a cave. Seems a bit over the top, but...
Bringing him back.
Yeah, and so the Dear Moon project, that one that's underwritten by that Japanese billionaire.
Yeah, with Steve Aoki going up as well.
Yeah, Aoki. So that's December this year, apparently.
What are they doing again? They're doing a flyby of the moon.
Yeah, I think they must be. They're not landing on it, are they?
They wouldn't be landing on it at the end of the year, obviously.
Yeah, Steve Aoki isn't going to the moon before the Artemis astronauts.
So the Dear Moon project's still on track? Is that what you're saying?
Apparently.
Oh, my God. Send them.
Yeah, it's a trip around the moon and back.
If you'll be my baby.
And that's done on with SpaceX as well.
Right.
So SpaceX have to get this sorted out.
Right, because they're sending Aoki and everyone else up on the thing. Well, they're not launching on a Starship, though.
I don't think they're doing a Starship. I think they're on says here, a Big Falcon rocket.
Oh, Falcon 2 or something.
It's a yet-to-be-built Big Falcon rocket. Man, Elon's promising all these rockets that he hasn't built yet.
Yeah, that he's saying 50%.
Apparently, he has to prepare people for the worst. He actually gave the same probabilities of when he launched. What's the current one they've got now? The reusable one.
I thought that was a Falcon.
Yeah, I don't know what a Big Falcon rocket is yet. So anyway, Falcon, I think it is a Falcon. That one that launched the Tesla car up, he said that was a 50-50 and that was successful.
Right. So you think he's just managing expectations?
Yeah, because they fail all the time. These first, the first
Falcon Heavy. It would have been a Falcon Heavy.
Falcon Heavy, yeah.
Oh my God. What are they doing, dude? Looks dangerous. It just looks dangerous, guys. So just stop it.
Oh, look, we'll go one day. Don't you worry.
Stargate. Let's go.
So would you rather... I was going to say, would you rather do rocket travel or Stargate travel? But of course you would pick Stargate travel, wouldn't you?
Of course I would.
Other than the fact that...
It depends on the chances of success. Like if the chances of success of the rockets is higher than the Stargate, like if they said, look, there's a 10% chance that you just fucking get you just get like obliterated when you go through one end of the Stargate. Your body just shatters. So there's a 10% chance of that. But you'll get better odds in the space shuttle. It will just take 2.5 weeks longer. You know, you make a determination at that point. You'd be like, look, hun, do we really want to spend 2.5 weeks of the honeymoon on the spaceship when we could be, you know, bathing in the hot springs on Mars? I don't know what there is to do on Mars. Golf, presumably.
Porn, golf, all the things Trump likes.
All the normal hobbies. All the regular hobbies you can do there.
Imagine the weird places Mars porn goes in terms of cultural shifts, because presumably the porn will evolve slightly differently there. That, you know, their tastes, experiences.
I don't think it'll last long before there's a McDonald's on Mars and the UFC's doing events there, and I don't think it would take very long for it to just become like any other city in America.
A Mars UFC. So that would.
Let's see how he adjusts to gravity here. Is gravity similar to Earth? Probably not.
It's a bit less. I think it's 80% they were saying.
So you need to get exercise shoes on when you're over there. You need to, pack the bike.
Okay.
You're going to want to do that when you're over there.
Oh my God, Mars gravity is 0.375 that of Earth.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But I thought Moon was about 10%. So, I mean, that's not much.
Well, it's very
more.
small. The Moon's very small, though.
Yeah, the Moon. Well, the Moon's pretty big. The Moon's a quarter of the size of Earth. We were talking about this before. The Moon's 16.6% that of Earth.
Yeah, but I thought I read one the other day that if you want to imagine how big the Moon is, it's a drive across Australia is basically going around the Moon.
I don't know if that's right.
Well, it's saying 6,500 kilometers.
That's the circumference of the Moon.
Yeah, I think that's right.
That's two. It is okay. Well,
that's 10,000. 10,000 kilometers.
So that's three Australias.
Nah,
because Australia's 3.5 across. I thought
it's back there and back. If you'll be my baby, potentially. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Wow, it's much larger than that of Australia. Okay, 7.6 million square kilometers. The area of the Moon is 37.94 million square kilometers. So it's bigger by a fair whack. 5 times the size of Australia. There you go.
What was that photo that you sent me during the week of
which one?
The Moon restaurant being built in Dubai?
Oh yeah, I have no idea what that is.
Was that Dubai?
Let me find out where that was.
They're building this thing that looks like the Moon.
Yeah.
Sitting on a pedestal.
Yeah, I think you go inside it. I think you'd go inside it potentially.
The artist impression you sent of me looked great. It just looked like the Moon. It was sick.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Can you see outwards from it? I don't understand the concept, or it just looks like the Moon, and you're just supposed to have a good time in it.
Yeah, I think it's just like having a dinner in the restaurant that has the Moon surface as its walls. I guess I have no idea.
And also, the dark side of the Moon is a bit uglier than the side of the Moon that we see, because it's been impacted by more meteors.
Yes.
Because it's less protected than the face that sides us. All the meteors that would hit the side that faces us are potentially affected by the Earth's gravity. So it sort of sucks things in and protects it.
Yeah.
The back, presumably the photo you sent me is the front side of the moon that we're familiar with. But the back side, I wonder if they'll just do another front side of the moon, or if they'll just have a shitty churned
they'll
up
just do the
side.
back side of the moon.
Mm.
We know what it looks like. We've orbited it. You can see what it looks like on Google Earth, on Google Moon. So it's not.
Is there
it's not
Google
biggie.
Moon? Is there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Check it out.
I think we have before.
Google Moon. I didn't know it was cold.
Pretty cool.
I didn't realize it was cold Google Moon.
I think there's Google Mars as well. We've done that before.
Yeah.
But Google Moon.
You can see the impact craters. They're pretty cool.
It's fantastic. Earth's little shield. We probably wouldn't be here without it. So
you can see the dark side. It's cratered up like nothing else. It's disgusting. It's pockmarked. It's like a 16-year-old child's face.
What, the dark side? How can you tell you're looking at the dark side?
Mate, I can tell. It looks, if you just go down towards the bottom of it, see the smooth side is the nice part is actually not this, it looks kind of silvery and nice. And as you go deeper down, it becomes, I would say that's more the beginning of the dark side of the moon, or you can see it's way more impacted and
it's fascinating, isn't it?
It's way more marked up than the bit we're seeing.
But dude, they sent people up in the 60s.
It's been when they go, it's going to be more than 50 years since a human has visited the moon. 50 years. 2 generations have passed, and we're just like, no, just haven't gone back.
Oh, it's amazing.
It's absolutely, it's insane, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're doing it. Going back. Well, Virgin Orbit isn't. They're done.
Well, they're looking for funding. They're looking for someone to buy the company. So if you know anyone who's in the market for a orbiting space company, get in touch with Brano. And if you want to get in touch with us, you can at vacuousperspective@mail.com. That's where you can get us on the email. If you weren't aware, didn't do it at the start of the episode again. Did it at the end again.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good. And last thing on SpaceX, they've got their private moon rover, which you should check out its video of. It's called Astrolab. Has a Flex rover that it's working on.
Yeah.
Looks pretty funny. Looks like a shopping cart. They have reached an agreement with SpaceX to do their flexible logistics and exploration rover. That's where they get the Flex from.
Right.
For the Starship mission.
Yeah, it looks fun.
It's got a cool arm on it. You need an arm on these things. Everything's got to have an arm.
Robots, guys. Don't be scared of the robots. The robots are here to help. And just remember that we'll all die without them. So
bring them on.
Don't be scared, homies, is the message. Yes, the future is scary, but it's going to be way scarier without them. So, hello and welcome. That's what I want to say.
And the last little thing that I almost forgot about on this note with rovers and moon rovers and things, there is a private moon rover that is getting sent up by Lunar Crush, and it's got 62 Bitcoins attached to a wallet on the rover. It's worth $1.5 million at the moment. They're sending that to the moon for the first private person that reaches it can access the crypto wallet. It's a Easter egg hunt on steroids.
What the fuck? First one to the moon wins. I mean, Mars? Is it Mars or the moon?
The moon.
That's fucking terrible.
And apparently they're raising the funds for this $1.5 million by selling NFTs.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
What world are we living in where there is an organization selling NFTs to raise money to buy Bitcoin, to put it on a lunar rover.
Yeah, and then it's first come, first serve. Like, it's like the ultimate treasure hunt for like people who actually need the money can never get there. It's like, guess what? There's $1 million. Oh, where? Oh, on the moon. Great.
Yeah,
I'll let you know when I've got the 12 billion that I need to get the R&D done to send something up, plus all the paperwork I've got to fill out. It's not worth it.
Next time a starving, destitute person is asking you for money, you tell them that there's $1.5 million of Bitcoin on the moon. Tell them to sort out their life.
Yeah. Get a rocketry program.
Get out of bed in the morning, make your bed, and fly a rocket to the fucking moon, you povo ass.
And get back. Trade them in.
They probably didn't even buy any NFTs to generate the money to put it on the lunar rover in the first place.
I don't get it, man. Hopefully one day we will all understand what's going on.
To doughies on the moon in rovers with Bitcoin wallets on them.
Yep. We'll see you there. And we'll see you next week.
See you, mate. It's been a pleasure, as always.
See you, Nate.
See you, mate.